Hey my friends, I'm Mike and welcome to the Lions Lounge. Today we're making two cocktails inspired by one of my favorite Batman movies, Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker. Let's get into it. To get things started, if you've never seen Batman Beyond, it was an animated series that served as a sequel to the wildly popular Batman the Animated Series and ran for 3 seasons from 1999 to 2001. Set in 2039, we find a Gotham overrun with crime and corruption, Batman having been gone for 2 decades. And it's here we're introduced to Terry McGinnis, a high school punk with an attitude whose father becomes embroiled in an illegal operation and is killed to cover it up. Terry, who happened to be away at the time, accidentally encounters a far older Bruce Wayne. And after the two fight off some thugs, Terry discovers the Batcave and Bruce's secret, eventually culminating in him taking up the mantle as the new Batman, which is initially to avenge his father's death, but later as a form of atonement for his own past sins. Despite the series being a sequel to the original Batman series, it wasn't nearly as popular. A large reason for this, possibly due to its far darker tone and more adult themes of loss and fear, as well as leaning into its sci-fi futuristic setting. Not to mention, as Terry was a teenager, there was a far greater emphasis on him as a character and his relationships, in particular with Bruce and how it evolves throughout the series. Something I enjoyed back in the day, but did not seem to resonate as well with the larger community. This led to Batman Beyond only lasting 3 seasons, and DC reshifting focus to Bruce Wayne in later series like Justice League. However, the series did receive a feature film in 2000 that feels like a proper send-off and has stuck with me to this day. This being Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker. But before we talk about this movie, I'd like to make a cocktail for Terry's version of Batman, which I honestly still love, and not just because of the outfit, though the outfit is pretty awesome, but because of how different he was compared to Bruce Wayne. While Bruce was quiet and stoic, Terry liked to talk smack and was emotional, in a way making him far more relatable. And so this cocktail I not only wanted to make for Batman, but for Terry's Batman. So this one you're gonna build in the glass, and I highly recommend you chill it in the freezer for about 5 minutes first. To start, add 3 blackberries to the glass. Then 1/4 ounce or 7.5 milliliters of simple syrup. Then muddle the blackberries. Then add some cracked ice and about 2 ounces or 60 milliliters of club soda. Then 1/2 ounce or 15 milliliters of lemon juice. And lastly, 1.5 ounces or 45 milliliters of a white rum. Give it a quick stir. And for garnish, I'm gonna use a blackberry and a raspberry. And there you have the Batman Beyond. Cheers. This is a really fresh tasting cocktail, and the blackberries along with the lemon juice and the club soda adds to that. It honestly kind of tastes like a fruity seltzer, and I'm not knocking that. The white rum is completely gone. If you wanted to, you could try substituting it with something a little more funky, like a Jamaican rum. But personally, I like this as it is. It's very tasty, and there's not a lot of alcohol in it, so you can drink a lot of these. So in Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker, we find Terry attempting to stop a robbery by a gang of Jokers. However, the group escapes, and we, the audience, learn they recently gained a new boss that's taken over their crew, revealed to be the one and only Joker that we all know. Keep in mind though that this is 2039, 2040. So the Joker would be ancient just like Bruce by now. Not only that, we discover that he should actually be dead, Bruce having witnessed his death firsthand. So the primary mysteries of the movie are, who is the Joker and what is he trying to accomplish? All the more urgent as he seems to know Bruce's past and that Terry is the new Batman. Mark Hamill also returns to voice the Joker, and it's always a thrill to hear him in this role, as he always steals the show with his performance. Something else interesting I found when rewatching the film is that the original movie, when released, was actually edited, toning down the violence and even completely changing how certain characters' deaths were depicted, most notably the Joker's. See, when I first saw it, I clearly remember him being electrocuted to death off screen. But in the uncut version, he's clearly shot, and you alongside Bruce have to watch him die. Now, I said earlier that this film feels like it gives closure to the series, and I still stand by this. Once the Joker makes himself known to the public, Bruce demands that Terry give up his role as Batman in fear of his safety, stating that he's done enough. But you learn that being Batman to Terry is no longer an outlet for him to channel his anger at his father's death, but a way to move on and help people who can't help themselves. and prevent further tragedies like his from reoccurring. And when the film completes, you see that Bruce has truly acknowledged Terry as his own person, on a path similar to one he once walked, but also very different. And it's really impactful. So as this film revolves around Joker as the primary antagonist, I knew I needed to make a cocktail for him. And what's a Joker drink if it's not dark purple with a little bit of green? So this one's gonna be a stirred drink, and you're gonna start with 3 ounces or 90 milliliters of cranberry juice. Then 1.5 ounces or 45 milliliters of vodka. Next 1 ounce or 30 milliliters of Grenadine. Then 1/2 ounce or 15 milliliters of Chambord. This is a black raspberry liqueur. Next 1/4 ounce or 7.5 milliliters of simple syrup. And lastly, 1/4 ounce or 7.5 milliliters of Blue Curacao. This is an orange liqueur with blue food coloring. Add some ice and give it a stir for about 30 seconds. Then strain into a Nick and Nora glass. And for garnish, I'm gonna use a lime twist. And there you have my version of the Joker from Batman Beyond. Cheers. So this is deceptively sweet, which honestly shouldn't be too surprising given there's a whole 3 ounces of cranberry juice there. But then on the back end, you also get the tartness from the same juice as well as the orange curacao and the Chambord. And then it's finished with that Grenadine that comes in at the very end that kind of just has a little bit of dry sweetness. Unlike the previous one, this is kind of a sipper. There's a lot more alcohol in this one, so you're gonna wanna be careful. Out of the two of them, I'd say the Batman Beyond is one that you can drink kind of during the day if you go to a work lunch, whereas the Joker is gonna be one you're gonna finish your night off with. Today, we talked about Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker, and made 2 cocktails inspired by it. Let me know how you think I did in the comments below, as well as if you have any cocktails you'd like me to make from your favorite series. And if you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate it if you'd like and subscribe. If you want to see what I make outside this channel, follow me on Twitter at Mr. Space Lion or Instagram at Mr.SpaceLion. But thank you so much for stopping by the Lions Lounge. I've been your bartender, Mike, and I hope to see you next time.